Hey Taurus, thank you for joining the channel Moon Oracle. I'm Allison. Quick announcements. If you're interested in purchasing a private reading with me, go ahead and just email me. My email is moonoracletarot@gmail.com. You can also DM me on Instagram, whether it's my personal account, the Aladon, or my tarot page, Moon Oracle. If you're not already following me on Instagram on my tarot page, Moon Oracle, go ahead and do so. I do post daily readings for the collective. And then also keep in mind that your sun sign is not the only sign you have to listen to. For my monthly readings, you can check out my other readings for other signs. The message can still resonate. Okay, so let's get into it. You have... I cannot pick up cards from this floor. The Hierophant. You got this first. And then you have the Three of Swords in reverse. And the Four of Wands. Okay. I feel like you may have been... You've come out of a lot of shadow and darkness, but there's still more of it that just you have to you kind of just have to like go through it. I'm picturing that that underworld cave that Hades in Hercules lives in, like that little lair that he lives in, and it's just like you have to take the boat through that death river, that deathly ass river. Like that's what I'm picturing. It's like, I mean, for the most part, understand you're safe. You're in a boat. You're not stranded in the water, dying from, you know, dead souls or whatever. But there's just a lot more darkness that's been there that can probably tie into a lot of the things that you've created yourself over the years. And that is having you learn more about yourself too, maybe, and the ways that you the ways that you communicate, you know what I mean, the ways that on the ways on how you connect, or how you may disconnect and detach. So it's been hard lessons, and the lessons haven't been easy, but it's not leaving you in a position where you are alone, or you know, you're mistreated necessarily. It's not anything like that. There's no actual harm being done to you. You may just be feeling like, you may be feeling alone. You may be feeling like you're going through some sort of pain. Things may hurt to some extent, but you're protected. You know what I mean? This is just necessary for you to go through, and it's necessary for you to see through, because like I said, like you can learn. I feel like when Taurus, like once you learn something, it's just you're ready to just use so much of the fuel that you have within what it is that you learned. You learn to love it, so now you're just ready to use it all up. Sometimes it's a matter of like, no, conserve your energy and conserve, you know, your resources. Save, you know what I mean, so that you can come back to it. Things can be more moderate because you're shuffling around and you're experimenting with different things. So it works in a sense the same way with your thoughts, just within the ways that you take in messages from spirit, from the universe, right? So this, I feel like, is actually bringing you a lot more wisdom that you need to see through, and it will be great for you to have once you go through whatever rebirth it is that you're going through. It's a very transformative time. So this could be, you know, this change could actually really help you become a lot more aligned with yourself. It could actually have you realize, wow, like I had to go through the dark night of the soul. I had to go through you know, these darker parts of myself that I was kind of hoping to not visit, but here I am again, or I'm really seeing it within other people, or I'm just finding it. It's just finding me. It's finding me, and I see it, and it's just like, you know, you want to be a better person. You want to grow in a way that helps you and helps other people around you. You recognize that now. You know what I mean? So, it's just kind of time that it's just, in a sense, your turn to just feel that. You know what I mean? Feel those triggers. Feel certain things just kind of shake up again, because it's just, it may need to happen one more time. Or it just needs to it needs to happen right now. Before you just look at everything, it's like, oh, la-di-da-di-da, everything's perfect. Everything's good now. You know, my hands are free. Everything's good. It's like, there's one more lesson that you need to see through. That's how I see it. But I feel like this will humble you. This gives you, more wisdom. And this is something that you may struggle with right now, because you're not really feeling it. You don't really like how you're feeling, maybe. But later down the line, in the next few years, you're gonna, like, you'll be thankful that you went through this process, that you went through the challenge of it being a challenge, it coming off pretty complex for you. It's like, you'll recognize that it was just needed. And for whatever reason that may be. So let me go ahead and pull more for you. Okay. So you opening up to higher learning, it can really, like, it can really put you in different realms, and so many, like, you just go through so many pivotal lessons, and there's so many shifts that you can feel. Or even if it's just one shift, it's huge. And it's like you find yourself somewhere new, and you know you can't go back after this. So this, just having more of an open mind, is really going to, create a shift in your life. That's just what's meant to happen. You know what I mean? So this, it could be really giving you more options. Now the universe is just giving you more options on how to handle certain things, handle certain situations. Justice. You know, it's choosing your battles. Try not to get caught up in confusion, though. You know what I mean? You can't have it all. And do you really want it all? You know what I mean? It's like, just try to simplify things. Just cut things down. Sometimes you got to remember to just, like, cut things down a bit. Because eventually it will exhaust you. Because you know you can manifest so much. Daughter of Cups. I say take in whatever lessons that you're learning, because it may put you in a situation that you may actually want to be in, that will require you to be the student, that will require you to, in a sense, start, begin again. But you'll have the resources for it. You'll have the tools for it. You know what I mean? Like, you have the wealth for it. You know what I mean? It's just, it's all there. You know what I mean? So I feel it's a matter of just allowing allowing the transitions to happen, allowing things to come in and out. And not being too quick to judge what you think it is that you have already identified. Like, yeah. Give me a second. Oh my god, these cards just fly every fucking where. Give me a second, Taurus. So we have 2 water cards out now. We have the 6 of Cups and the Mother of Cups. Capricorn season gives us a time to just reflect so much on our past, and you know, the parts of the past that are still present, you know, in our present lives, that are still reside with us. And some of those things are just wake-up calls, you know. Some of those things are signs from Spirit telling us how we can change for love, how we can change from love. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily like there's debts that you have, or there's some sort of collateral that you must give up. You know what I mean? It's not that kind of requirement. It's literally like you may have been, there may have been a lot of fog when it comes to the topic of love, and love in all aspects, you know what I mean? That maybe how you're receiving these downloads, and how you're just taking the time to kind of like, you're going through a transformation, and that's a reinvention of yourself. So you're probably, in a sense, trying to keep up with the fact that you feel differently about love now, maybe. Maybe you're just learning more about love and how that looks, how that can feel. Everything, anything about it. And that can make you feel pretty nostalgic, but it can make you feel, it may make you feel confused and just a little tired, maybe. There could be that too. But this is here for a reason. And once you constantly cling to it, and you hear it and you feel it, you want to understand more of it. You want to know more of it. So this is a divine connection, whether it's with you and someone else, or it's just with yourself. You get what I mean? Like, you're connected. You're connected to Spirit. You're connected to love. I think you're trying to find a way to communicate it. It's like you're learning a new language, in a sense, too. Or it's like you're trying to break down codes. You know what I mean? It's like you're finding clues by trying to identify, define some sort of code, you know, break it down. So take your time when it comes to feeling this energy, and just feeling different overall. If that's how you feel, it's okay. It's okay to become unsure too. It's okay to not really know how you want to go about things next. Give yourself some time to just be to yourself, and you know, fill that time that you have with yourself by doing things that you love, things that make you feel good. That's always important to incorporate, especially when we just feel, you know, lost or stuck. So let me pull. Oh, wow. So yeah, the Devil comes out. I think it's about, if you come to a point where you end up talking about your past and yourself with someone else, like having a really deep personal discussion about just your life and how so much has changed and transitioned, where you felt like you've lived in the past for so long, you know, all those mixed feelings, all those feelings that are valid, if they exist within your mind, and you feel the need to talk about it, definitely do that. That may help you actually open up to more understanding, for yourself alone, you know, whatever thoughts, excess thoughts that come to you as you are expressing yourself, that is pretty much like the light turning on. And that's good. It just brings you closer to more clarity for self. But just know that this can feel uncomfortable, you know, whatever it is. If you're getting in touch with where you don't want to be anymore, like in a sense you're getting in touch with like darker things that are kind of like creeping back up, or creeping up in a different way, but you recognize that it's a familiar energy and you know what it is. It's temporary. It's not here forever, and it doesn't have control over you. Examine it for what it is, and you know what I mean? Just take the time to like put together what it is that you want to understand. I don't know. I think it's a matter of, if you're visiting a darker realm, you know, if you're visiting your shadow self, you know, you're meeting your other half and you're going through that, understand there's a lot of light within that darkness, and it's simply just, it's something that's being shown to you, for very necessary reasons that are only going to help you grow, you know, for the future. It's just, allow it. Allow it. Give me a minute. Don't doubt yourself when it comes to you exploring more of your emotions. And if you want to get, when you have these discussions and you want to get more into the, you want to get to the point, you know what I mean? Don't allow anything or anyone to like take you away from what it is that you're connecting to, just because it may not feel as positive, it may not feel as comfortable. It's like things aren't, you know, growth isn't gonna always feel comfortable, and healing is definitely just, it's not always gonna feel comfortable. So it's addressing the things that you feel is necessary, so that you can connect better with yourself, and you can feel better afterwards with yourself, and, you know, take the lessons that you learn and apply yourself. You know what I mean? There doesn't have to be an ending, you know, within all of that. And if there is, well, then that may say a lot. So how do you want to transition out of that in a healthy way so you can reach that new beginning within that ending? Okay, Taurus, I'm going to go ahead and pull an oracle card for you now. So, Taurus, January 2020. What is our healing message for Taurus? Taurus, January 2020. Taurus. Taurus, January 2020. Taurus, January 2020. Taurus, January 2020. Taurus, January 2020. Card doesn't want to come out. Taurus, thank you. Wow. You got unconditional love. Aries got this. That's crazy. Unconditional love. Yeah. So maybe this can be connecting more to your relationships and a lot with yourself. You know what I mean? It's okay to start over in a sense where it's like you come to find out that what you thought you knew, you didn't really know it. You know what I mean? You knew parts of it, but you didn't really understand it for what it was. And you may feel silly about it. You know what I mean? But don't. Because you didn't know. And now you know because you want to truly know. And you know how to approach this in a way that you're more receptive, you're more open. So that means other people could possibly feel the same. They may be willing to be more receptive with you and on how to communicate with you. So this is like, in a sense, a refresh. Like, it's a refresh. You could just, you really could be closing out a lot of chapters. Or, in a sense, you could restart, rekindle your relationships. Or, you know what I mean? It's like you found a new way to love, or you're finding a new way to understand the meaning of love, that you want another chance when it comes to love. So you realize the way to approach that is to recognize the differences, to recognize your differences compared to someone else's differences, to recognize what doesn't receive enough attention and focus, and you're able to actually like dissect what that is and why it's left the way it is, why it is what it is, if that makes sense. You're able to figure that out, and you're doing it in the process. You are. So I guess don't think too hard about it. Don't feel like there has to be an even more deeper meaning to it when you're already realizing how deep it is already, and that is what you need to pick up on. That is the purpose right there. That is your answer, in other words. You know what I mean? It's being shown to you. So I feel like it's also important to have gratitude towards that. To have gratitude. Unconditional love is like you accepting your imperfections and others, and closing out these false ways of thinking, these scenarios and theories that you come up with in your head, these fantasies that don't really fucking exist. Or at least they don't exist for you. You know what I mean? It's like, let's come to terms with this now so we can really just settle down. Or, you know, like, just, you have to come to an understanding. You have to come to something that can officially really just close out wherever you are so you can move forward in the right ways, in healthy ways. So you're not repeating the same shit or the same patterns, because that's important. So yeah, 34. Card number 34, unconditional love. This is your message for the month, Taurus. Love you.